Is Auriok Champion better than for Core Firewalker? Yes, because of the Scourge of the Skyclave deck. In my opinion, just the Pro Black is super relevant because of the Scourge deck. Also, secretly the best one mana removal in the format. Maybe for blue-white control, yeah. I think for an aggressive deck like this, it gets a bit worse, but maybe. Oust is good, I think. I think Anthonice is better in this deck. Alright, playing against Tron again. This is a bad matchup. In fact, I think it's one of our worst ones. We've got game against it. It's not like that bad. Just not that good. I think I'm pitching Ice-Fang and hoping to draw well. Kind of close. Oh, draw well achieved. The Scourge deck, a new version of Shadow. Yes, it's a red-black Death Shadow Prowess deck that plays Swift Spear and Shadow and Scourge. I think I will mana leak this mostly for mana efficiency, but it don't kill Toski now, does it? Well, only has 3 cards. They must have mulliganed. Yeah, they went to 6. Toski. We do need them to not Tron us here. Opponent has good taste in lands. Alright, well. We got 1 turn to draw. If we draw, Force of Negation. Or the Remand. Or sorry, am I playing a Logic Knot over Remand? I think I am. I can't remember. If we can chain some counter spells together, it's going to be good. Sort of Feast and Famine would have also been fine. I think I'm just drawing a card, looking for a 2-mana counter spell. Or Ice-Fang. Alright, now we have to hope that they're on Wurmcoil Engine. They have access to 4 cards here. Thank goodness. We're so lucky. I can't believe it. Obviously, we're still, still in the frying pan. But there's a chance. Maybe I just want to bounce the Wurmcoil. I think I do. I don't have any 4-mana counter spells. Maybe I'll also thin my deck too. It's just such a big deal if we could draw Force of Negation. Like exactly Force of Negation puts us in decent shape, I think. I'm also pretty happy if they replay Wurmcoil next turn because I do have the Anthonice. Another land. Toski, please. Please, Toski. Kind of surprised they didn't crack their sphere also. Sorry, it's okay, Toski. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Yeah, of course Fran must have just left the chat, right? Well, this was much worse against the line we took. Stoneforge would be a good draw, though. We could play an Equip Feast and Famine here. Hierarch would be fine, but not great. Yeah, Spell Queller is not that good either here, I guess. It is going to draw cards. It can counter some of their threats. I don't know why they're just not cracking the sphere, though. They exile my Teferi, which is honestly just like hilariously bad, I think. Such a bad play. People just overvalue the hell out of that card. Stoneforge Mystic, please! They have Dismember here. Oh god, another land. Alright, I can't kill Karn because I have to attack with Toski, so I'm just going to attack them and draw a card. Maybe too little, maybe too late. I'm going to keep playing. They'll probably plus their Karn just because they don't want to lose it. We'll see. Yeah, right on time. Please just play your Worm Coil. I don't. They just. Did they forget that they have Chromatic Sphere in play? They're like, I have Tron. I win. I have Tron. They attack with Drag Tusk at the perfect time. I think we jump because we're not triggering Exalted anytime soon. Maybe play that Toski post combat to eat 5 damage. Guess I should have played my land first. Doesn't really matter too much. Maybe, Johnny, maybe. I know that you really like blue-black control, but I'll play what I want to. I think blue-black is good, though, yeah. Toski is really, really trying to win me this game. So, what a good boy, Toski. So they get their Worm Coil back. Alright. I'm done. Let's go to game 2. Toski was trying. Like, honestly, we just found Force of Negation. We maybe had a chance there. I do bring an Auriok on the play in this matchup, and I cut it on the draw. Cutting the Jace, the Anthonysis, and the third Teferi. But yeah, I like Auriok on the play when you can turn to it. It's not a card I think is good enough on the draw, though. Why not equip to Batterskull? I guess that was better. But also we were holding up the bounce. Probably close. Maybe not. I think we can keep this. It's not a great hand, but I do like Mana League / Ice-Fang on turn 2. Old Border Sigil of the Empty Throne. That's awesome. Sounds really cool. Good choice. Opponent mold to 5. Yeah, I bet it looks great. Yeah, I like the Old Border cards. I'm pretty excited. This has become an art review stream lately, though. Yeah, the remands look good too. I saw those earlier. I could play Stoneforge Mystic, but I think having Mana Leak up against the mold to 5 is a bit better. Well, probably should have gone to 4, but whatever. Who am I to understand the mind of a Tron player? So I could hit them with Sword of Feast and Famine next turn. I think I'm just gonna hold up mana. Maybe just hit them with Toski next turn, or hit them with the Ice-Fangs, draw cards with Toski. Hopefully win very easily. Are they they're Old Border for cosmetic purposes? Yeah, I mean I think that's the whole idea, right? What do I know? Opponent could have Dismember for Toski. So maybe it's better to play Stoneforge. Nah. Toski draws all the cards. Well, opponent probably should have mulliganed, I guess. I'm gonna try to not show them Damping Sphere. Could be my goal here. Easy. Alright, well, hopefully game 3 goes about as well for us. I don't think we can keep Auriok on the draw, I just think they're too slow. Probably bringing the other Planeswalkers back in. Maybe Ashiok's better against someone who's going to keep hands like that, though. Well, gonna mulligan this. Probably keeping this, right? My opponent's gone to 5 already. Put back the Borrower. Unreal, 0 lands. Oh, whoops. I don't want to put that one back. They go to 4. Yeah, I don't feel bad at all. I feel no sympathy. But don't tell my opponent that. Don't want to be seen as a toxic streamer. I think in general complaining to your opponent is bad form. But whatever, right? Conceding to me, fetching. Funny. But it also means I don't have any sympathy. I'm going to keep this. Need to draw a blue or a green soon, but maybe we're against a Swift Spear deck. Or Cavern on Spirit. Okay. Ontonites and Ice-Fang should both be good. Right on time, Force of Negation. Oh, maybe I was supposed to play Vista that turn. Probably was. Yeah, I changed the Squirrelblade sideboard a bit, but the main deck still... I'm liking the main deck. Not sure how this matchup is. Spirit is a really cool deck. Maybe a little underplayed. So should I be worried about Rattle Chains here? I think that I am a bit worried about Rattle Chains, so I think what I'd like to do is bounce their Vial with Teferi. And then force it on the way down, because Mana Leak and Force of Negation are both super dead. But this like really stops them from being too tricky next turn when I can go Ice-Fang plus Onthonice. It's possible I could keep the Force up, though, for a card like Mana Leak. If they're playing fetch lands, which they are more likely to be Bant with Collected Company, too. Yeah, actually, I think I'll just not force the Vial. It's kind of close, though. If they play Vial with... Mana up. Not sure. I'm just not sure exactly how we're supposed to sequence this turn. Yeah, we're gonna get got by Rattle Chains. I think no matter what. But if they Rattle Chains, we can maybe Teferi bounce this Onthonice down the line. So maybe that was the reason to. Maybe that was the reason to Onthonice first, because we could bounce it with Teferi. They would have gotten a green source if they play Company. I mean, they could have had a green source in their hand, but maybe they would have, yeah. Mana Leak? I don't know. Like, is it worth Mana Leaking the Rattle Chains there? I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it. I just don't think it. I don't think I want to Mana Leak there. Well, we can just take the 2-for-1. Like to see Path to Exile do this, though. Is Rattle Chains even good? I like Rattle Chains. Oh, sorry. This is you're just expanding on the bit that I'm doing right now. Why am I so dense? I just do this kind of shit all the time. Just like start a bit and then forget what I was doing. It's like I just I do this all the time. It's so embarrassing. What's my thoughts on playing 2 Toski and Bant Spirits and Pioneer Modern? I mean, the fact that it's not a spirit and like it's not Collected Company, is a bit awkward. I think it's probably a better sideboard card than Spirits, but like a very good sideboard card. Yeah, it's just constantly. I do a bit, and then the chat jokes with me, and then I just totally forget. I'm like, what? Britbot 15 months? Where'd the time go? I don't know. If I find it, I'll tell you though. So my opponent gets to tap down my Ice-Fang here, then attack next turn. Drawing a land. Maybe I should cut down on lands. We are playing a Castle Ardenvale now. We are playing a Jace the Mind Sculptor, which should help a bit with the mana flood issues. But of course, the issue is you can't just always teleport those cards to your hand. Yeah, I probably should have just drawn better. If Edric was legal, would I play it instead? No, absolutely not. Like, Indestructible can't be countered is just well worth the extra mana. It's like the biggest problem with effects like Edric and Toski is that they just die. They just die so easily. And so to just not have that problem is just the biggest deal ever, I think. If you have Rattle Chains again, oh, this is the Supreme Phantom, huh? Or Dragskull Captain. Yeah, I mean, this is on me for not calling out this card. Athena loves squirrels. I've never seen Athena like actually try to hunt something. I've never seen Athena actually intend to cause anything harm. But I think she might if she ever caught a squirrel or a bird. But she's very, very sweet. She's just like every dog and cat and person she's ever met. She's like, she tries to play, and if they don't want to play, she tries to be gentle, but she's not very good at it. So she usually just like waves her hands in the air and like tries to like not touch, but tries to tone it down and fails. But she just doesn't have a bad bone in her body. You know, if we had Force of the Vial, we actually would be in much better shape this game. So I guess that was probably the line, huh? Well, let's sure hope that my opponent doesn't have another copy of Dragskull Captain in their hand. Okay. All 4 copies of Anthonice in play. Thank you, Anthonice. Very cool. Opponent's flooding out a bit. I will block either creature with this Ice-Fang if I get the chance. Not equipping right now, because they can just tap. Shacklegeist is a good card. Yeah, I've always preferred Bant over blue-white, or at least like when I used to play Spirits, I preferred Bant over blue-white, but it's been a while since I've been a Spirits player, I guess. I would love to Spell Queller. I would love for their hand to be Supreme Phantom Path to Exile. That would be awesome. I mean, blue-white gets better mana, and your Moorland Haunts are better. And your mana base is less painful. So like there definitely are reasons, but maybe just not good reasons. Yeah, I mean, and like Hierarch is also just not super well positioned, but you probably play it if you play Bant. Look, Bant is more grindy than blue-white because you get Coco. Bant is definitely grindier than blue-white. With Pro Blue, they would not be able to tap Snake. You're right about that. But if we equipped last turn, then they tap in response, and then we can't play Spell Queller. So if they attack with Shacklegeist, I might just play both Quellers and try to double block. Obviously, I'd love to like counter like a Supreme Phantom first. Now you kill Phantom. The Phantom is a 1/3 and this deals 2 damage. Yeah, I think this is good to do. Let me. I do have another forest and at least another island and another plane, so I can cast both. Should Bant Spirits play a Toski? I think Toski is maybe better in the sideboard than Bant Spirits, but Toski is a great modern card. They should definitely consider it. All right, so they don't have a Spell Queller in their hand. No, though. So yeah, sorry. I see what you're saying. The Ice-Fang is not what is dealing the damage when you hit them with Sword of Fire and Ice. The Sword of Fire and Ice is dealing the damage, so you don't get to trigger the Death Touch. I think I'm double blocking Shacklegeist. Oh, although we lose a Queller like this, we could block like this and not lose a creature and go to 3. Going to 3 is not free though, but I think this is the block. Because we can also maybe kill the Shacklegeist with this. This is Supreme Phantom. Or Drunkskull Captain. Yeah, we still get to kill this here, which is good. Maybe the last card is Path. Alright, yeah, the block definitely was great there. They do have another spirit in their hand. Is it Selfless Spirit? It's Unsettled Mariner, which cannot tap my Ice-Fang, but they can tap one of my Spell Quellers. What a great draw. A really good game. Oh, I forgot that they can do this. So they chump block here. I guess I want to main phase this Ice-Fang, although if I main phase it, they're tapping it. Should be fine. We're not dead on board. We should be okay. A great draw. I'm also going to move the sword around, probably. Yeah, we can go equip sword to Spell Queller because I would rather them tap a Queller than one of the Ice-Fangs. If they tap it, we'll just move it to the other Queller. Does Abzan have land destruction in Modern? They have access to Fulminator Mage. Oh, that kills my Ice-Fang. Huh. Is that bad? I didn't realize that was going to kill my Ice-Fang. Might still be fine to do this though. Yeah, probably better not to move the sword over just now that I've reevaluated. But it's not like this has no value. But I agree, you probably should have just left the Ice-Fang in play. The Ice-Fangs are so valuable here. Especially because we have Force up for Path to Exile, which would be like one of the few cards that they could have. Well, I guess that's not true. Skyclave Apparition kills us. Either way, yeah. Skyclave Apparition kills us. I don't think basically any other card does. I hope they didn't draw another Drogskell Captain. That would be so brutal if that was like their one card they drew. So am I gonna kill the Drogskell Captain? If I do, they get a Moorland Haunt token, but the Moorland Haunt token is just a 1/1. But what they can do is they can actually tap an extra creature if I kill the Drogskell Captain. So I think I just target them. This is also going to be lethal next turn. Okay, Toski can block Unsettled Mariner. So if they have a 3-mana spirit in their hand, we lose. But we're not dead on board. Maybe we could have moved the sword over, but I don't think it matters very much. So now we're still dead to Skyclave Apparition. We can go block, block, block. And then they're dead to this next turn. If they can't kill me or stop this some way. Is it okay to play control decks without opt-in Serra Visions? I think that there are not very many control decks that want to play either of those cards. Like, the Blue-Red Dragon deck I've been playing recently does because you need to be able to trigger Sprite Dragon, but that's like kind of an exception. But I'm pretty low on opt in control decks right now. You're dead to any spirit? No, because they have to tap the spirits in order to tap a creature. They have to tap 2 spirits to tap a creature. So if they tap one of their attackers, they're obviously not attacking with it. Yeah, no. They would need to play 2 spirits to kill me, not just one. They did find a 3-drop. It's a Spell Queller, so they can tap. No, yeah. Oh, sorry. They can. You guys were right. I was wrong. Sorry. I don't know what. Yeah, you're right. Is there a way to beat this? I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking that wasn't the case. I guess I was just, in my mind, I was thinking Toski's a blocker, so Toski makes everything fine. Well, they couldn't have made a spirit token, right? They didn't have a creature. Oh, they could have post-combat, yeah, after if we block with Ice-Fang. You're right. Tough game. If we had forced that Vial, I think maybe we would have won. After we balanced it with Teferi. Definitely have some dead cards, or like at least bad cards. Like these mana leaks are just not that good if they draw Cavern and or Vial. You think moving that sword over lost me the game? Oh, it did. That too, yeah. Is Veil okay? It doesn't stop very much. It doesn't stop Spell Queller. I think I'm just keeping the mana leaks in. Is Toski good? Toski's amazing. Toski's so good. Ashiok is completely unplayable in this matchup, but I don't know. Like, what does Veil of Summer even stop? Like, Veil of Summer, like, maybe just 1 mana cycle. They get sideboard permission, I guess, but like Mana Leak can also counter that permission sometimes, and it's like you're saying permission because we don't even know exactly what cards we're talking about, you know? Because we're just not sure like what Bant Spirit sideboard is for a matchup like this, because Bant Spirits isn't, a super common deck. I mean, Veil of Summer to counter a tap activation doesn't seem very good to me. Yeah, it does not stop Spell Queller. Spell Queller does not counter in Exiles. What's the play with Toski? Cast him and damage with flares to draw a card. Yeah, I mean, are you asking me to read Toski? Toski is a very good value engine. Pretty sure we're playing Stoneforge Mystic. I think it's better to be able to get a tapped Glacial Floodplain over getting in for a damage here. Mana Leak was just completely dead last turn. That's true. That's true. I mean, but Mana Leak is sometimes not dead, And like, if we're saying like maybe Veil will stop something, like Mana Leak can also stop the things that Veil of Summer can stop, but less efficiently. And sometimes, like if my opponent just doesn't draw Cavern, Mana Leak is actually a good card in the matchup. Obviously, like that's the strength of playing these tribal decks, is that they do just get to blank cards a decent amount of the time. They probably at least have Path to Exiles 2 as targets for Mana Leak. Not that Mana Leak always will hit something like that. No, please, don't untap your mana. No, please give me something to Mana Leak. Fine. I mean, Batterskull is really good in this matchup. Obviously, we'd rather have the other sword in our hand, but I think we're doing pretty good. I think my opponent has Skyclave in their hand. Which Batterskull is also very good against Skyclave Apparition. Although they left the Vial on 2, which makes me think that they have a 2 mana Spirit in their hand. Is now the new thought process here. I hope you guys can keep up with that. Another Supreme Phantom or potentially Phantasmal Image. Too many thoughts, yeah. And sometimes I get a bit ahead of myself. So I do think that they have Skyclave in their hand, but they obviously can't cast it right now. It might not be good to shock here. Just maybe telegraph Spell Queller too much. And we at least have the Mana Leak, which is probably about the same card, but I do want to play the Hierarch, get the extra mana. They're just gonna let this hit. Okay, it's good for me. Taking 8, discarding a card, is that like better than sacking their Supreme Phantom? Really good to know about Force of Negation. So maybe I will want to play Veil of Summer, seeing Force of Negation, but I mean, Force of Negation is also just kind of medium against us. They probably need it to answer Teferi Time Raveler. It's certainly not one of the best cards they can have. So maybe they'll take this up to 3, and then a Skyclave Apparition my Sword of Feast and Famine off of the Vial. You know, we saw them tap 3 mana, then untap it on their turn. So I feel confident that they have a Skyclave Apparition in their hand. It's an interesting draw. Could move the Batterskull over to the Queller, but I think it's going to be better to cast Jace. Opponent's last card could be Spell Queller, so we'll make them either sacrifice a creature to keep Queller up or use their Vial now to give us information. If Jace resolves, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing it. I might just plus targeting them. Just stopping them from drawing relevant spells seems pretty good to me. Yeah, put that on the bottom. They didn't activate their Vial, so maybe tapping 3 mana was a bluff. Yeah, maybe that was just a bluff. I'm not sure. I guess I'm gonna Mana Leak this. Nah. There's just like no. That was their draw for the turn. There's just like no way the Mana Leak is relevant, and we can shuffle it away with Jace if we draw a fetch land, which we did. Or, although it's probably better to keep it over random land. Right. We won game 2, on to game 3. That game 1 was super cool. Definitely could have played better though. So now we've seen Force of Negation. I think I'm down for like the first Veil of Summer over the 4th Mana Leak. It is also possible Auriok Champion as a Soul Sister is better than some Mana Leaks. But I think I'll just submit this. If they just don't draw Cavern, Leak is fine. Have I tried Skyclave in this deck? I have. Skyclave is an incredible Magic card. But the problem is if you play Skyclave, the mana felt much worse. Just to have to support double white. What I really like about this deck is we have only single white symbols, single green symbols, and then like a couple of double blue symbols with Force and Jace. You know, we've got double white in the sideboard, double green in the sideboard, which I think is more okay. But I played like 2 leagues with Skyclave Apparition, and it came up like 3 or 4 times. The double white being very difficult. And also, you know, I haven't missed them. The deck has felt better without it. As good as Skyclave is, Skyclave is a really good card. I'm gonna keep this. The Hierarch is basically just never dying in this matchup. Can I explain the choice in Snow Duels again? Like why I'm playing the... you don't want to play more than one Snow Duel land. I think it's just too many to play more than one. It's like very rare that you're going to want to fetch for 2. And you don't want to play the blue-green one because you don't want to... if you play the blue-green Snow Duel, you're incentivized to fetch basic planes, so you have all your colors, and blue-green Snow Duel land plus basic planes doesn't allow you to cast Ice-Fang. Alright, we were on the draw, haven't found a land yet. This is our 3rd look. Not the best land we could have drawn, but we'll take it. We went 0-2 drop with Cosmo. Not a great showing. Wow, opponent has 3rd land, so lucky. Skyclave my Hierarch. It's pretty bad for us. Maybe it'll just be an anticlimactic game 3. I mean, Hierarch is actually one of the best cards in the matchup, just struggling with lands, obviously. Puts us in bad shape. Okay, so we can play Stoneforge plus Hold Up Path. It's probably maybe just better to Path right now. On the Ice would be so much better right now. We can also Teferi, bounce Supreme Phantom. It's maybe a better line. Could also hold up Queller / Path. Yeah, that's so bad. It's just so bad to play reactively here. They had Force of Path and Upkeep. Well, they also have Rattle Chains and Spell Queller. Totally fine with that. What is Gargaroth in the board for? Creature matchups. Like this one, like humans, like Swift Spear decks. It's really, really good in those kind of matchups. I think we're taking 4 here. Not really sure how we can draw out of this. That's probably not it. I think we do bounce this. Another Toski, the 3rd Toski. Skyclave here, we chump, go down to 3. Play it out, I guess. We're probably falling to 1 and 1. Do I like Brazen more than Vendilion? I do, yeah. I'm just not super high on I'm honestly not very high on either. I think it's good to play one of those cards because they play well with Toski. And just have like the little bit like another card on 2 mana is kind of nice on the curve where we, you know, I do like Borrower more than Click, yes, but it's certainly close. Right. GG's. Yeah, Rim F is in the chat right now, of course. I don't know if that really affected things. Is it worth to consider Jeskai Stoneblade? I think that Jeskai is worse than Bant and blue-white for Stoneblade decks. I'm really not very high on Jeskai Stoneblade. They might have muted and minimized the stream. Yeah, that's certainly possible, but I believe that this person has also been a confirmed stream sniper in the past. And so you know, I feel pretty confident that that's probably what was happening here, and I wouldn't be saying so otherwise. Yeah, they were stream sniping the other day, and they were gifted a sub while it happened, and it was just very convincing. It's kind of a weird line to take. Like, why show me the explosives now? Although they get, if I bounce this is like a really good play around me bouncing Prism. So I guess I just bounce explosives. It's very usually pretty good against Ad Nauseam, although this is Inverter, not Ad Nauseam. We could be dead here. if their 3 unknown cards are exactly Angel's Grace, Thassa's Oracle, Spoils of the Vault. Is blue-black control a good deck? I do think blue-black's good, yeah. Oh, this is... okay, I thought this was the inverter deck. But maybe the engineered explosives should have tipped me off. Probably just going to Jace bounce here. Could also go Petty Theft plus Stoneforge, but Jace bounce seems better. What about 4-color Omnath Stoneblade versus Bant? I think Bant is better. 4 colors interesting. I've been really, really happy with this deck, though. It's like, it's not clear to me that Omnath is better than Toski. I think if you can and like this deck's mana is really good, and I think 4 colors is not. So I think this is better. But it's not clear to me. I think I've been watching some of the Doomwake play the 4-color version, and I certainly do think that there's something to that deck. They play explosives on 3 and Imri. So if they crack their explosives on 3, their Imri dies. And their Imri can get them back Spyglass, which is actually a problem. Let me just brainstorm first here, see what we find. Okay, can't kill the Imri with Sword of Fire and Ice right now. But I sure would like to. I think I'm going to go Petty Theft on Imri, hold up Queller / Mana Leak. And I'll be okay if they spend 2 mana this turn to kill Teferi. You redeem Sing the next card reward. Okay. Oh man, it's probably worth 100,000 channel points, but I always get so flustered, but I'll do it. I'll do it. Gonna Mana Leak this. Don't want to Queller into the explosives. Sometimes I get a little flustered and then I have to sing the following card, so don't be too upset. Why didn't I hold up double blue? What do I need double blue for? Ice-Fang Coatl! Hope that was okay. Yeah, this explosives on 3 is a bit obnoxious. Maybe I'll just bounce it with Teferi here. Let me brainstorm first. Force is a really good pickup. So you can bounce the Chalice, so they can Onthanize the Imri. They'll just shuffle away Stoneforge, Onthanize, actually. Like they can't, they have to have exactly Dismember here because there's a Chalice on one. I doubt they'd be playing Fatal Push anyways. Yeah, I'm definitely getting better at singing at that channel point redemption option. My first few attempts were shaky. Yeah, now if they want explosives on 3, they'd have to like use Penta Prism or find another color. I think we're gonna win this game. Now we're definitely gonna win this game. Locked in to win. Oh, we actually don't have Mana Leak up, do we? Alright, as good as Toski is, it's probably better to wait a turn, huh? Shuffle with Stoneforge Mystic. Discard Stoneforge Mystic. Is the Squirrel actually good? The Squirrel is great. Toski is great. I've played a lot of leagues with this deck. Toski is really, really good. And like one of the best reasons to be in this archetype, in my opinion. It's probably Whir of Invention for bridge. I guess I'll force. I know Miracles is dead, but if I was going to try to build a as a pet deck. How would I go about it? I vaguely remember Telling Time. I don't know. I mean, you still have Omens and Omen of the Sea and Jace, but I don't know how I'd build it. I really think that deck is like just unplayable without Sanctuary. Maybe I don't want the 4th Forest. 3 is probably fine. Kind of like 3-ish Anthonice. It's the Imri Urza deck, and I don't know how many Veil of Summers I want either. Can maybe cut the Borrower for a Veil. Borrower feels kind of medium. This looks fine. Yeah, just like Sanctuary. I mean, I know that you can just, people still are kind of playing blue-white control with Terminus, and that's whatever. But without Sanctuary, Counterbalance is dead. Sadly, it really does break my heart to say that. I have so much nostalgia for that deck. Like winning the PTQ on stream with it was awesome. Building it, just a deck I have a lot of love for. Do I need to force another 0-mana artifact here? I think that we would have had to because of Imri. Do need to draw a land. What are you going to do? Draw a land, hopefully. If we need to force, then we do have a kind of a tricky choice between pitching Ashiok or Teferi. Ashiok stopping Whir is like such a big deal against these kind of decks. But Teferi is also, just, I think, very strong, so probably pitching Ashiok, I guess. I'll force a Pinted Prism. You should ship back one-lander hands. I disagree. I think this hand was a keep on the draw. It's one-lander with Hierarch against a deck that doesn't have cheap spot removal because they're playing Chalice. I think that like hard, fast rules like that always mulligan a one-lander, are maybe good for teaching new players, but end up, you know, needing to be unlearned eventually as people play more and more games. I get sort of Fire and Ice here. I mean, one-landers on the play without dorks usually aren't keeps, but there are definitely scenarios where you do keep them, depending on like the format and the matchup, all that. Well, I'm glad that we exiled the explosives. Yeah, but there are tons of scenarios where I would keep a one-lander on the play. You know, do I have a Ponder in my hand? Do I have Serum Visions plus Opt? Do I have like a 1-mana sideboard card that's crucial for this matchup? You know, like I would keep like 1-land double relic on the play against Dredge every day. So like the attitude's like, oh, do you have a 1-lander mulligan? Like that's like the kind of thing that you tell someone getting into Magic for the first time, and that's going to stop them from losing a lot of games. But that it is something that is something that just needs to be unlearned the more and more Magic you play. That you just need to evaluate every hand differently. Yeah, I mean, they just need to name Sword of Fire and Ice here. Hitachi, thanks for the host, dude. Hope you're having a good day today. They do name Sword of Fire and Ice. Stinks. I have to go to game 3 though. I think Batterskull would have been way better against Sorceress Spyglass. Just kind of a hard card to play around, I think. Kind of like to draw Noble Hierarch. Oh, whoops. This doesn't matter a ton. But I did mean to put that into play. It's misclicked. In Legacy you can do this, but not in Modern with no cantrips in hand. Well, we can agree to disagree, buddy. But I think this hand was an easy keep, honestly, on the draw. Knowing the matchup. Do you plan on playing any tourneys this weekend? Yeah, I plan on playing a challenge tomorrow. Probably playing this. We'll see. Kind of funny. Yeah, sort of Fire Knight's usually good against Sculptor Foundry, but they have it named with Spyglass. Should have hemmed and hauled and cast Veil. Why? Yo, why cast Veil there? Veil didn't stop. Veil didn't do anything. It wasn't 1 mana cycle the turn you're talking about. They didn't cast a blue spell. Yeah, they counted the Veil of Summer, which is a bit weird. Like something I'm totally fine with, I think. Are they chumping? That's fine with me too. They don't have their Sword of the Meek just yet. How did Mystic get tapped this turn? I attacked with it. Sword of Sinew and Steel would be pretty good, yeah. Targeting Bobble, I'm assuming? Yeah. They drew a land for turn, that's good. We get Toski down next turn. We also still have game 3 to play. What am I going to play in the challenge? I want to play this. That's what I played last week, and I had a pretty good run. I started off 4-1. Okay, so is it better to play Toski, or is it better to put a Batterskull into play this turn? Probably better to play Toski. I like that Toski just makes the Stoneforge Mystic like have to be chumped again, so they have to sacrifice probably like Mox Amber. And then next turn we can attack with just Toski and then put Batterskull into play. But like we don't make them chump block this turn if we don't Toski. Yeah, I want to play this tomorrow. I think this deck is good. I've been winning the most with this, but I also like Dimir control, so I might end up playing that. I also might just YOLO blue-red through the breach if I have some time to test it tonight. I think that deck is really good against everything in the format besides humans and Dredge. But I like it a lot against the Swiftspear decks. I like it a lot against the blue decks, so I may end up just YOLOing that tomorrow. We'll see. But this is my favorite deck to play, and it's like pretty well positioned, I think, and so it's kind of hard to not play your favorite deck when it's decent, so maybe I'll do that. Geist of St. Traft is one of your pet cards. I mean, you could play Geist of St. Traft in this deck if it's your pet card, but I don't think that it's great. If you do play Geist of St. Traft, though, with Stoneforge Mystic, consider playing Maul of the Skyclaves to make Geist a little bit better. Which I've tried to do, and Geist is still, I think, not quite good enough. We're pretty lucky our opponent's just flooding out here. That's a very good draw. Although we don't have a blue card to pitch, so we probably don't have it up this turn. I guess we could just force the Bobble that they flash back. They sack the Bobble, not Mox Amber. That's wild to me to just say I'm okay not drawing a card here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Shields down again. Next turn we get to attack with 2 Stoneforge Mystics, Toski, and the Germ token, and that the 1/1s just don't block that well against. They've done it 2 turns in a row, so I guess I missed that. I thought for sure that they must have sacrificed one of their bad artifacts, but I guess that's why they're just not drawing anything. They're skipping their extra draw every turn. The next step of evolution is Rancor in our Toski deck. I really like Rancor. Rancor's cool. They sacked the Spyglass over Mox Amber? Oh, they're gonna get back Skyglass with Ruins, but I'll just respond. Yeah, this is so fine. This is if I had good mindset, or if I could choose my opponent to do this or take a random draw, I would choose for them to just to do this. Win Edric Modern Legal. I mean, it doesn't matter because Toski's better than Edric. The opponent's deck is hard to play. They may be new to it. I guess Emery can block Toski, but we've got good attacks with everything else. Now they have to name Sword of Fire and Ice too. I guess, I mean, they can't name Stoneforge, yeah. Am I allowed to fetch a Kaldheim God from the sideboard with Karn? Or is it not an artifact if it's not on the battlefield? I don't think... It has to be an artifact on the front half, so you can't fetch Kazuma because the back half is Omenkeel, is my understanding. And whatever you're fetching has to be on the front half a artifact. And as far as I know, none of them are, but maybe I'm misremembering. There's a lot of them. Cool idea, though. Alright, I will draw 3 cards. Did I play my land this turn? Did. But it now has 2 cards. They concede. Cool. 2-1. Losing a tight game to Spirits, beating Mono Green Tron, which is a bad matchup, and then beating Blue Black Urza. Cool league so far. Putting back Glacial Floodplain. Yeah, definitely lose the Snowland because we can just fetch it if we want it. I almost bought a playset of Misty Rainforest. Chancellor of the Tangle! We're playing against Neoform. Are we getting turn 1? That's so cool. I would love to die on turn 1. I'd love to die on turn 1 here. So Neoform can still kill you on turn 1. And we might see it here. So they can do their thing with Chancellor of the Tangle to Neoform or Eldritch Evolution away an Allosaurus Rider, and then with Mox Amber in their deck. Okay, this is not that deck, never mind. With Mox Amber, they can have 2 Pinhead Prisms into Laboratory Maniac to tap for black mana with Griselbrand in play. But this is actually just Prism. Still trying to turn 1 things with Chancellor, I guess. We don't have that many 1-drops in our deck. It's probably fun. We have 8 1-drops in our deck, 7 now that the Hierarch is dead. I think it's fine to mana leak this. Ah, rewarded. Yeah, I guess I'll play the Hierarch. Opponent's hand is Chancellor and 2 unknowns. Yeah, exactly. Of course we immediately draw a 1-drop if we let this resolve, so wise to counter it. I'll probably let another one resolve, though. Can maybe force this. I think it's probably good to force this. I'm really Queller this turn. It's an interesting draw. Yeah, Chancellor is so much worse than Spirit Guide. I'll let a Ritual resolve. I'll counter another one, though. Or no, I won't. Queller can get 4 drops. Ritual, Bone Crusher Giant. Probably going to fetch basic planes with this Windswept Heath. If my opponent can kill this, they can also stomp the Hierarch, so this is a bit risky. Never mind. I'm going to bring in Force of Negation number 4. Best card in the matchup, probably? Maybe not. Probably don't cut these. Could play Auriok Champion. Could play Gargaroth. Gargaroth's probably good. I guess I'll still play like 2 of these. Yeah, I agree that Mono Red Prison was already just not a very good deck at all. before the bans. And now, like, losing Spirit Guide, it just is even worse. I think we're going to go to 6 here. Veil seems premium in this matchup. Yeah, mistake not bringing it in. Was I supposed to play this? Would I rather have a plains or a forest? I'm not sure. I think I want to play Ice-Fang and just try to block the Bone Crusher with the Ice-Fang in a couple of turns, or this turn if I draw another Ice-Fang. Which I did, but I probably won't want to tap out of Mana Leak this turn. Like, we might want to go Queller slash Leak this turn into Stoneforge, hold up Ice-Fang slash Mana Leak. Hi, am I playing Bant? I am. This is my favorite deck of the new Modern. A Bant Stoneforge Mystic deck with Toski. Turning it into Squirrelblade. That last turn was a one-lander with a dork. What about this matchup? Caused you to melt as opposed to the last matchup. We didn't have Force of Negation, which was something we had in the last hand, which makes the one-lander better. But also, this is a deck that can actually kill my mana dork. The other deck was a Chalice of the Void deck, so they're not playing Fatal Push. So my Hierarch was like basically guaranteed to live in the last matchup, whereas in this one, it's more likely to die. I hope that was helpful. Find the Snowland. Now I'm going to find basics because they're a Blood Moon deck. Probably leave back both Ice-Fangs. Good Sophie or Batter? I think I'm just getting Batterskull. It's just nice if they play Blood Moon, we could just ignore it here. Can cast every spell in our deck besides maybe the Borrower, but we can get Island with this next turn, assuming they don't Moon us right now. But I'll just let Blood Moon resolve. Ooh, that would have been bad. Chain Whirler, wow. So we can bounce the Revoker and then put in Batterskull if we want to. Probably better to hold up Queller for now, though. I played a lot of Standard when this card was legal. Lost a lot of games to Goblin Chain Whirler. I think I'll be relatively happy to trade Germ Token for Bone Crusher here if they want to take that trade. Maybe not now that we drew that. That's probably fine. Gonna tap Temple Garden here so that way if they play Blood Moon first, we can just let it resolve. Guess I should have tapped the island. No, because I could play Borrower. If my opponent plays Phyrexian Revoker, I might just let it resolve so they can't resolve something scary, like a Chain Whirler. I guess that's not even that scary. But like that, like Stoneforge Mystic, Batterskull, yeah, well, easy decision, I guess. It's like they have to choose between Batterskull and Sword of Fire and Ice off of the Revoker. 5 mana. Yeah, we went 0-2 drop with Temur Kazuma. I 5-0'd with it on Tuesday. I'm starting to think that that was maybe just a fluke, though. I think this was a fine exchange for us. I do like this just in case I draw something to use my mana on. Opponent's last card in hand is Revoker, but the Revoker is going to die to the Sword of Fire and Ice next turn. We can take 3. Never mind, don't even need to take 3. Enchanted non-island because of Boil. Maybe should have held the island because of Boil, probably doesn't matter. Do I have any favorite cards that are extremely meta-specific? Maybe the Madcap Experiment package, but it's like really, it's been really good for a little while. Will I accept 5 $1 bills to view deck list? Yes. That is the going rate, actually. Yikes, Hellrider, wow. You could have bounced the Batterskull and replayed it, but I think it's better to have Queller up. But I will say I'm surprised to have seen Hellrider there. Same person, but I'm also just not sure that the ghosting mattered that match very much. I just like thinking back over it briefly. I kind of don't think that the results of that game would have changed very much if my opponent was not ghosting. I could have also played a bit differently too. But very flavorful deck to ghost with, so shout out to them. Double Crab is scary. I haven't played against Mill in a little while. Teferi is nice against the traps. I don't really know if they play Fatal Push, but I'm glad not to get Fatal Pushed here. I think I'm going to get this down. This way I can fetch on my turn and they can't like cast a top decked Mindbreak Trap. Or Archive Trap, rather. Might be better to have waited on the bounce so I could just like guarantee of something to Queller the following turn. Taxing their mana is also kind of nice, so definitely feels like there's pros and cons to both. I'll definitely force a Mesmeric Orb here, pitching Ice-Fang. Yeah, this matchup is probably pretty close, but I would say that Mill is probably a little favored if I had to guess. Ontonai is definitely better than Path against the crabs too. Oh, although I targeted the wrong crab. Oops. Probably won't matter that much though. All of our creatures are flying right now. Is Green White Valuton even slightly playable? Fran F. Pauls has been playing some of it. Knight of the Reliquary plus Feldar Retreat is really good, in my opinion. And his opinion too, I think. Don't want to speak with them. Yeah, I think that player just like shamelessly ghosted against me. Which, you know, nothing to do about it really. It's a good draw. So I'm not going to play the Hierarch this turn. But I think we're in control of this game. We still have 31 cards in our library. We've got a clock going. Got some more disruption. Is this the 4th crab? Wow. How many crabs do they play in their deck? That's crazy. 4 crabs? Surely they don't have any more. I think I just let this resolve. Opponent also doesn't have Lurrus as a companion, so they have Ashiok in their deck, I guess. Better to attack with 1 creature here rather than 2, just in case a Mesmeric Orb resolves, but definitely like free either way. Same amount of damage. More likely Ensnaring Bridge. That's also a card. I don't know if it's more likely. I feel like I see more main deck Ashioks in mill than main deck Bridges, but whatever, right? Also a card that could be there. I think I'm equipping onto a Noble Hierarch here. This doesn't play as well around Orb, but this is better against a removal spell. And if they have a removal spell, they'll just kill this. And if they don't, we can untap and Force of Negation and Orb anyways. Make them discard their last card. Why would you not cycle Visions from Beyond trying to find... Do they have no instant speed removal? Why would they not cycle there? They could find Crypt Incursion. They could find Surgical at least. Why would you not cycle there? I'm so confused. Well, that was actually a pretty good draw for them, but we have the Force of Negation to exile that. They could have drawn into that last turn, though. They could have drawn into that and gotten to at least gain 3 life, so misplay by them, I guess. So I want the Veils, I want the Force. I don't like Remand in this matchup. Probably want to trim on Toski's, actually. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, submit. On the Nice is good. Another matchup where just Nice much better than Path. There are matchups where Path is better than Nice. Against Death and Taxes and Ponza are kind of the big two, but Nice is better than Path against Swiftspear decks, Humans, Mill. Just a bit better in the metagame right now. Better against Shadow decks too, usually. I like this hand has no fetch lands. I'm definitely keeping. Yeah, how much are Time Spiral boxes? Time Spiral Remastered boxes. I might actually... I can't remember the last time I bought a box. It's been a long time. Why doesn't this come into play untapped? Yeah, I really can't remember the last time I bought a box, but it looks pretty cool so far. $200 bucks. Or just buy singles. Why is Path better in those matchups? Against Death and Taxes, they have a lot of land destruction. And against Ponza, like the instant speed Path to exile Glorybringer has always felt really relevant in these matchups. And Ponza also has Pillage to kill your lands too. Probably better to play a 2-drop this turn into Ice-Fang plus 1-drop, Ice-Fang plus 2-drop next turn too. So I think I'll play this before they mill my Batterskull. It is a bit bad if they have traps, I guess. Maybe they've Drown in the Lock plus trap here, and they just weren't sure if they wanted to let this resolve or not. Kind of fine with that getting drowned. Sorry, Misty. I'm glad that they only had 1 crab, I guess. They milled over 1 forest, 1 plains, 1 fountain, 1 island. So we'll keep that in mind when we're fetching. I want to play some Spell Quellers, but not Spirits. What's the best shell? I mean, this one, I guess. I think this deck's very good. They extirpate my Teferi Fun Ravelers. I would like to have fun this game, so let's play Magic. Extirpate Teferi Time Raveler. A very respectable play. We're definitely going to Anthonize Basic Island and not Glacial Floodplain too, because our opponent plays Field of Ruin. Ah, well, we win. Game over. So we still have 36 cards in our library. Opponent seems to be low on action. Resolves. Kind of surprised they boarded an Echoing Truth. I think I'll mana leak this. They're down to just 1 card. How many Showcase Toskis should you be ordering? I can see some metagames where you want to play 4. I was kind of tempted to play 4 in this deck, but I decided the first Jace would be better, so I have an out to infinite life. But I did want, I think, 4 like grindy 4-drops in this list. So I personally, I bought 5 Toskis because they sent me a regular art one, so I had to go buy an extra showcase. But I would recommend picking up 4. They're pretty cheap right now too, and I could definitely see the card rising in price. But also, I'm not a finance guy. I'm not an MTG finance guy, so none of my advice. Don't come to me for MTG finance advice. Is what I'm stumbling and trying to say. Counter this Toski, Bearer of Secrets. I wonder what kind of secrets Toski has. What kind of secrets would a squirrel have? That resolves. That resolves. That resolves.